Hello and welcome to the Mimic Safety Academy online video tutorial series. In this first of a two-part series on adding multiple users to the LMS, we will learn how to download the mass upload template, find the required fields, paste the information from an HR or payroll system export into the template, and set up the template for importing into the LMS. Okay, let's get started. So once you're signed in as an admin, you're going to go up here to the Manage tab on the upper right of the screen, and then you're going to go to the User Manager in the menu on the left. Once in the User Manager area, you'll be able to select the Edit Multiple Users button. And this takes us to the area where we can add multiple users one at a time manually, but if you have a lot, that could be very challenging. So we're going to go to this icon here, which is the Bulk Import section. So click on that icon. This brings us to the User Administration via CSV page. The first thing that we need to do is download the template file, which we do by clicking right here. Once that's downloaded onto your computer, browse out and find it. And once you've found it, open it up so that you can see what fields are included. So we have a number of different fields, but the fields that are required to upload into the system are first name, last name, email, your company name, an employee ID, a temporary password, and the operation. Now we'll get to what all those mean in just a second, but right now jot those down so that you can go to your HR or payroll system and design an export that gives you as much of this information as your payroll system has in it. So we'll go and minimize that for a second, and we're going to go grab an export file. So this is an example of an export file from your payroll system or your HR system. And it has quite a few fields, and most of them will be compatible with the mass import file. So we're going to minimize that, and we're going to bring over the mass upload template. And all we're going to do is copy and paste the required fields from one to another. So we'll start with the HR or payroll system export. We're going to grab the first and the last names, copy those, and paste them into our mass upload template. We can scroll over a little further to find the next field that we need, which is going to be email. And in our HR system or export, we have the email fields. We'll copy those and paste them in. Then we have the company, which you can do that one at a time or a single paste and then copy all the way down. But if your HR export has that, you can just copy and paste the whole column like we did here, or we're doing here. And then we scroll down a little bit further, and now we come to our first piece of information that may not be included in your HR or payroll system export, which is employee ID. Now the employee ID is important because it is the identification that the user will use to log on to the LMS, and it needs to be unique for each user. So there's a couple of ways to do that. They could use their payroll ID or employee number if they're familiar with it. It should be something that they can remember because they'll have to use it to add to or log on into the system. So if you want to, you can grab the payroll or employee ID number, copy that, and paste it right in. So if you're confident that your employees will know that and will remember that, then you can use that. But if not, as in most times we don't, many times what we like to see is the employee ID or the letters of their email up into the ampersand sign. So in our employee or in the HR system export, we can find an empty column and type in employee ID up here, and we're going to use the letters of their email address up into the ampersand sign to create an employee ID for them for the LMS. Now you can do this by manually typing it in, and for the first employee it would be R. Adams. But if you have quite a few employees to do, that could be relatively challenging. So really what we want to do is use a formula in Excel to do that. And I'm going to give you the formula now. So you should be able to pause the video and copy it down. I'm going to paste it right up here, and this is the formula that you'll be able to use. So jot that down and you can use this. The A2 and B2 refer to the first two columns of this HR system export. And you'll notice when we hit enter with that, it gives us the first letters up into the ampersand sign of their email to create that employee ID. So if we just copy that and paste it all the way down the page, we'll have all of the appropriate employee IDs. We can copy that and bring that over to the mass upload template and paste it in there. But here we're going to paste not just everything, however, but we're going to just paste the values. So I'm going to go to Paste Special and select Paste Values, and that just gives us the values instead of the formula. So now we have an employee ID set up that's unique to each user. The password is a temporary password. It's something that the employee will use the first time that they log into the system, and then they will be prompted to change that right afterwards. So this can be anything, and it can be the same for all employees since it's currently a temporary password, and they'll be asked to change that. So we're just going to use something right now. And once we're finished there, we can go and copy and paste that all the way down. So there's two more areas here. We have the hire date, which if you have that from your HR export, you can certainly copy and paste. It's not a required field, but sometimes it's nice to have that information in the system. The last thing here that we could use is the department. And this will help us later on when we're going to assign these employees to the group areas that were created when you registered for the LMS. So we can go here and select all the departments, copy them, and we'll just paste them in the address, the first address field. Now we have all the data within our mass upload template set up. We've got all the required fields and a couple of other fields that are set. So we're going to save that. And when we save that, it's going to ask us or tell us that some of the features are going to be lost because we're saving it as a CSV or comma delimited file. And we want to save it like that because that's the only way that the system will be able to see it. So we'll click yes, then we'll close it. It's going to ask us to save it again, ask us are we sure? We're going to say yes. And then we'll be able to come back to our user administration via CSV page. So that's where I'm going to end right now. You can go back and review how to put all that information into the mass upload template, and the next video will start here and we'll learn how to get all that data into the LMS. Thanks for watching.